Reading comprehension is the ability to read a written text and understand its meaning. It relies on two interconnected abilities: word reading, being able to decode the words on the page, and language comprehension, being able to understand the meaning of those words, whether they're written down or just spoken. To read well, both abilities need to be taught and developed. When we read, we don't normally remember the exact words and phrases of the entire text. Instead, we build a mental model, a picture in our head of what's happening and what the text is telling us. The planet glowed brightly in the night sky. Our mental model grows as we read more of the text. We add to it or change it as we come across new ideas and new information. The clearer our mental model, the better our understanding of the whole text. And there are 4 factors that can help this model to grow: background knowledge, vocabulary, language structures, and inference. As we read, we connect the ideas and information in the text with our existing knowledge. If we've read other books about space or seen films about space travel, then we're likely to meet familiar ideas when we read another book set in space. For example, if the text says, "With a crunch, a rocket touched down on the planet's rocky surface. The door of the ship slid open. Glancing nervously from side to side, an astronaut stepped onto the ground." We're told directly that the door opened and the astronaut left the rocket, but we have to use our background knowledge of astronauts and space travel to imagine what the astronaut looks like and what they're wearing. Knowing the meaning of the words we're reading is obviously very important for good comprehension. If we come across a new or unfamiliar word, we can use different strategies to ensure we still understand its meaning. The astronaut took out an anemometer and began scanning. Anemometer. I've not heard that word before. To work out the meaning, we might use the context. Here, the anemometer could be some sort of technical device, as it's being used to scan for something. We might also check similar words to get clues. Aero sounds like it might be to do with the air, and meter sounds like a measuring device, like in thermometer or barometer. So, anemometer might be a tool for measuring the air. Words on their own aren't necessarily enough to build understanding. It's not until we join them together that we can get a sense of their meaning. No result came from the device, so the astronaut waited. Here, understanding that the conjunction "so" means that one thing is the reason for another thing happening helps us to understand the sentence. The astronaut can't do anything before they get the result. A different conjunction would have given a very different meaning. No result came from the device while the astronaut waited. The use of the conjunction "while" suggests that although there was no immediate result, a result did come later. Often, good comprehension depends on understanding quite small details, such as knowing the meaning of a conjunction, "so" or "while," or recognising exactly what a pronoun is referring to. It began to make a whirring sound. We need to know that the pronoun "it" is the anemometer in order to follow what's happening. It's rare for a text to tell the reader everything they need to know. Often we have to infer or read between the lines to picture what's going on. Finally, a light on the display flashed green. The astronaut pressed a button on the helmet and the visor began to lift. In the story, we can infer, that the astronaut lifts the visor on the helmet because the planet's atmosphere is safe. The text doesn't tell us this, but we use our background knowledge of what a green light normally means to infer that it's signalling to the astronaut, "OK, safe to take off the helmet." As it happens, the next line confirms the inference we made. Knowing that the air was safe to breathe, Captain Sarah of the Starship Endeavour was ready to begin her adventure in space. While each of the factors that help with comprehension can be taught and practiced directly, the best way to develop language comprehension is through talking, listening and reading as often and as widely as possible. In this way, children's reading will really, take off. So if you'll excuse me, I've got some important work to do.